guys, welcome back. Wait, I need to go stop my kids' YouTube videos because... Hey guys, welcome back to another Gimpys Gal Guesses. This is one that Gimpy is very excited about, and he's been begging me to do it since he got it like 2 days ago. So yes, I only made him wait 2 days because yesterday we had plans, and the day before that he had to run out and do errands, so I couldn't do it. So as soon as I could, I'm doing it, but you know, he gets so excited. So this is, I'm like discombobulated because it's been a while since I've done one. So welcome back if you have been here before. If you're new, Gimpys Gal Guesses, I'm just going to kind of take a look at this game, try to figure out how it's played, who it involves, where it takes place, all the main points of a game I'm going to try to figure out. If you're here to learn about this game, wait for Gimpy's later videos where he's going to talk more about it. This is just a fun little thing, and if you enjoy it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. But I'm going to jump into this. So this is called 1985 Under an Iron Sky. It is a Thin Red Line Games, and it's third echelon. Don't know what the next set of words says. But this is what the front of the box looks like here. It's very dark and like just dark. I can't think of any other words. My brain's not functioning properly, but it's just very dark and gray and that's what it looks like. So hopefully the glare isn't too bad and you can see the picture, but it's really cool artwork. It looks almost like a real picture, but it's definitely artwork, I believe, unless I'm wrong. But it's really cool. So that's the front of it. Here's the back of it. Very interesting. Nothing on the back. I'm just looking to see if there's anything on outside, like the remaining parts of the box that I need to know. Because sometimes they'll put the contents kind of around the edges and it doesn't look like that. This one just has the design. It's Fabrizio Vianaio, Marco Camino. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing this right. Graphic design, Eleonora Olivares and Fabrizio. Yeah, it just says it's a 2020 game from Thin Red Line Games. I'm just gonna open it up here. All right, there. So it's a humongous box, but it actually, now he said, I believe that this one is bigger than the last one, I guess. So that should tell me something because that game is huge. I'm just going to switch this out so I can put this back in here. So we have a little roll of baggies here. Then we have two dice. I think these are 20-sided. Yeah, two 20-sided dice, a blue one and a red one that come with it. And then I'm trying to see, since I don't have a content, like some games will include what is in the box so that you know you have everything. I'm going to try to find something that has that. Looks like there's a lot of counters, I believe all of these are counters here. And it looks like these are maps. Map. Yes, those are all maps. So, that there. Counters are always do last and put those there. These look like some type of player aid cards. Scenarios booklet and designer's notes. And then this is the rules of play, and these must be another player aid. This says terrain effects chart, and this one says terrain effects chart. Are they the same? Yeah, looks like it's one for each. Let's look through the rule book and see if we can get a contents or if I'm just going to have to count it out as we go. Equipment, the game map, game charts and tables, playing pieces, game scale, parts, inventory. So I guess it just tells you all of that in the rule book. Obviously, I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way because he always wants me to guess who, what, when, and where. When is 1985? Where is Under an Iron Sky? That is when and where. But yeah, so here's the rule book. I don't see any pictures, just lots of words. But yeah, like there's the general rules. It's a 55-page rule book, so it's very, very in-depth, but he said this is a huge game, so I would assume you would need a very thick rule book. So here is the authorized 1985 Under an Iron Sky rules of play booklet. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that in here. And then we had the scenarios booklet and designer's notes. So let's just look through that. So obviously there's scenarios in this game, but we don't know how do you go about choosing them. Do you just pick one and go with it? Is there an order to it? Is there a method to the madness? We're not sure until we read through the rules. That is why Gimpys Gal Guesses is not a video intended to educate you on how to play a game. It's literally just meant to be fun, and that's what we're doing, right? So scenario, checkpoint, Charlie, mind the gap. So those are just a few of the scenarios, and then it says there are some notes from the designer. I'm assuming that's what all this is back here. Yep, designer's notes are in the back. This page is intentionally left blank. Thank you for telling me. Hope that I've been in frame. If I've been out of frame, I apologize. It's a little bit different setup than usual as far as where it's positioned. So we have a scenario book, we have a rule book. Those are pretty standard with most games, war game or not. You're gonna have a rule book. Terrain effects chart. So this looks like they're the same thing, except for there are different symbols on the back. So this must be the two sides. The rule booklet, I'm just gonna glance again because I wanna see if it says how many players, because that is kind of important. And I do like to at least know that, and usually the back of the box will tell me that. Okay, parts inventory. So there is a 3 by 95 by 65 centimeter map, a 2 by 31 by 24 centimeter map, 2 NATO airfield charts. So one side is NATO, and then 2 Warsaw Pact airfield charts. So the other side is Warsaw. 1 NATO air superiority chart, 1 WP air superiority chart, 8 counter sheets, each with 280 counters or markers, and then 1 rule booklet, 1 scenario and designer notes booklet, 2 tables booklets, and 2 D20. So those booklets right here that we're looking at, these are the tables booklets, and there are 2 of them. I don't see the number of players, but I'm assuming it's 2 because there's 2 sides. It might be more than 2, but that's my guess, just from what I'm seeing. Everything seems to be 2. So that is what these are, 1 for each player, but depending on which side you're on. So this is the Defense College, can't really read what it says, Elentis, I don't know. It doesn't say anything else on it. This one says MNPA. I don't know if it's supposed to be backwards or what, but they're the same thing. It's just one is for one side and one is for the other side. So we'll just take a look at one because they are, yeah, they're exactly the same. So we'll just take a peek at one. So the front of it shows you terrain effects. It just breaks down what each little square on the map is going to represent terrain-wise as far as what it is, your road mode, your tactical mode, and your ground combat effect. And then if we open this up, we have some more charts. So this one is a movement cost chart. So this one will tell you based on the terrain, the road mode, the tactical mode, and rule rep, what your cost chart, your movement cost chart. The fatigue level is how tired you are in the game. I'm not being serious, but fatigue level, I guess, maybe has to do with your military and how much they've been working, and so how tired they are. I mean, I guess that really is what it means, like how much they've been worked, maybe. So you have a current fatigue level. It says basic MP +1. Current fatigue level, no effect. Increased fatigue by 1 and step loss. Then we have basic MP +11, and then again, same thing. Current fatigue level, no effect. Increased fatigue by 1 and step loss. Then last here at the bottom, we have basic MP +21. Same thing. Current fatigue level, no effect. Increased fatigue by 1 and step loss. Then here we have ground combat result table 9.0. Combat mod, it starts at -7 and goes all the way to 7. And then there's some letters and numbers. I'm not going to read the whole thing because these numbers are just like gibberish to me right now, but it says combat ratio. And this is a ground combat result table. And then at the bottom, we have a ground combat results. And I guess based on this is the result of it. And then there's just some notes over here. That one was pretty confusing. Ground combat modifiers. So these must be modifiers for your ground combat. Again, you do have a description, a modifier, a used by, and a reference. Then this is cadre rating. I don't know what that means. Nationality and value. And then modifiers are calculated for best terrain, worst supply state, worst fatigue state, worst mode state, total of all step losses, and chemical warfare, EW, and no ZOC marker if any defending combat unit is affected by them. Again, gibberish, but that is the ground combat modifier table. And here's the air combat table. Modified die roll, so this based on what you roll, then this is the air combat value minus evasion value, whatever that means. Sorry. And then we have some more air combat modifiers, NATO pilots ratings, and Warsaw Pact pilots ratings. Air combat results. So just a bunch of tables. We'll just kind of flip through the rest. Ground strike mission table, SEAD or SEED mission table. Ground strike modifiers, ground strike results, SEED modifier, SEED results. And then we have an evasion, or what does it say, a flak fire table. So again, we have a dice here, and then the flak rating over here, evasion modifiers. We have a group average evasion, and then a modifier. And then this table is the helicopter interception table. Again, the die, and then number of enemy air superiority squadrons. I'm sounding like I know what I'm talking about. I promise you I don't. Flak fire modifiers. Don't know what that means. Flak fire results, and then helicopter interception results. Then we have Special Forces Ingress table. Don't know what that means, but that's what this is over here. And then a Special Forces Assault table and a weather table. Weather table, that sounds pretty easy. It's about the weather. Special Forces Ingress results and Special Forces Assault results. It's like tongue twisters too. Revolt table, revolt modifiers, and revolt results. Revolt results, revolt results, revolt results. Oh, that's not too bad. And then we have nuclear attack table, nuclear contamination table, NATO WMD release table, WP WMD release table. That's another tongue twister. And then down here looks like we have some counters like combat unit, front, combat unit, back. So it's kind of breaking down what the counters show. This is all the unit types, the unit sizes, and these special codes. And then on the back, we have a North Atlantic battle chart. So there's numbers here, war turn, type, description, prerequisite, choice or roll, and then effect. So that is what both of those little player aid charts. It's all the tables and all the charts that you need to play the game are in these, and there's one for each player. Again, I'm assuming there's 2 players for this because there's 2 of those. We'll have to just see. All right, so here's some more player aid cards. This is the air superiority areas. And again, this one has, I don't know what symbol that is, but it's one of the symbols, and it's on this one, so I'm assuming this would be for that person. So it says air superiority combat, air interception combat, and then there's nothing on the back, but that is one. And then WP airfields. And then we have just, I guess, different airfields. And it says 2 of 2, and here's 1 of 2. So we have WP airfields 1 of 2, and it just lists all the different, I guess, what each one of these is supposed to be an airfield. I don't know. Nothing on the back. So that is the 2 airfields cards for WP, and then air superiority areas, another one of those. So air superiority combat, air interception combat with the other symbol on it. So this is for the other side. And then we have NATO airfields. NATO airfields. This is the first one, and then here is the second airfields chart for the side, whichever side the symbol is for. Which I said the other one was the Warsaw, so NATO, which obviously it just says NATO right there. That was really dumb. Please ignore that, please. And then we're down to the maps and the counters. So these maps feel pretty big. They're kind of poster material, so be careful. I'm not gonna be able to get the whole thing in frame, but I'll try like I've done before. This is what they look like, so I'll just kind of start from here and kind of work over and then come to the bottom. I don't know if I'm going to do this for all of them just because it's so much, but we have, last time I kind of folded it and just showed it like piece by piece, so we might have to do that again. But here is, this one says Nothing. It says Yugoslavia, but I don't see like a number or anything on the top or bottom of it to indicate like which map it is. So that is one of the maps. This one looks like a smaller, oh yeah. So here's another map, and it's just this part of the sea. Baltic Sea and Poland, and then the USSR is there. Hopefully you can see this. And then another small one, which is Hungary, Austria. There's that map. And then we have another big one. So we'll just kind of show it section at a time. So this one says, what is that one? Czechoslovakia. Frankfurt, so it's going to be Germany over here. I'm just kind of opening it piece by piece. France. This way. I'm sorry, it's hard to see. Yeah, West Germany. So yeah, the Netherlands. So that is the fourth map, I believe. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and it's another big one. We had 2 big ones and 2 little ones so far. So that was the fourth map. And then the last map feels like another big one. So we'll just kind of look at it piece by piece. So here is the Baltic Sea. And then West Germany again. This. Netherlands. And if we open it, we do have a chart on this one. So this one has movement points and modifiers track, game, turn, and reinforcement track. So this must be the main map that you're going to use with all of them. It keeps track of your turns. And then Warsaw Pact revolts track. And I don't see one for the other side, but that's... But that is the last map. And then we'll go through the counters really quick, and then I will probably not give a guess because I have no idea. I know it's NATO and Warsaw. It's in 1985, and it's in Europe, obviously. So there you go. I just guessed it. All right, so here's the counters. I'm not going to flip front and back, or I'll flip front and back, but I'm not going to go to like each individual counter. There's so many of these. So there's 180. I think that's what it said on each of these sheets, and there's 8 of these sheets. That is a lot. So there's 14 of these, 14 down, 18 across. So yeah, there's close to 180. But that is counter sheet 8. So it's starting from the bottom, and now we're here. So here is counter sheet 8 front, counter sheet 8 back, and they do feel like they're going to pop out pretty easily, but they are pretty thick. So we have some chemical looking signs, some numbers, you know. Again, don't know what any of this means, but the rule book looks like it breaks it down pretty good for you, and so do those player aid cards. This is a bunch of words. We have ammo, fuel, flak ammo, hedgehog, breakthrough, damage. That is the front. Back just says same thing, but I think there's different numbers. Yeah, 1 is on this side and 2 is on this side. So that was the 7th. Here's the 6th one. It's a bunch of red ones. Looks like we saw this on one of the player aids where it told what all this stuff meant. So that's going to be on there. And then at the bottom, it just says fatigue. So that is the front. Back just says fatigue 2. And then again, some of these are blank on the back, and then some of these have different symbols. Again, this is not meant to show you and break down what each individual counter means. It's just meant to kind of give you a more fun way to kind of unbox the game. And it's just fun for me to take a guess at it, because sometimes I'm right. It's very rare that I'm like nail on the head, but sometimes I am, and it's just kind of fun, and it lets me help Gimpy out on the channel. So hopefully you enjoy this, but you don't take me too seriously, and you're not offended if I get something wrong. But yeah, so here is counter sheet 5, front and back. 4, front and back. 3, front. This one has some pretty colors, just like a purple lavender up here. Front and back. I've said this before. If you want to improve your sales of your war games, you need to add more girly, sparkly put more figures in your games. DVG sent me glitter planes before. Yeah, it's hilarious. It was a joke because I had made the joke that you should include something like that in your games. And they sent it to me as like a, look how ridiculous this is. And I'm totally joking. I don't really think people should put glitter on their counters or include little figures. But I will say, when I look at these games, they bore me. The colors are drab. There's no pictures in the book. I'm not dumb, but let's be real. When I'm learning to play a game, just reading it, I'm not going to get it. I need to see pictures, give me examples, or better yet, just let me get in there and play and I'll figure it out. But he hasn't tried to teach me one of these, and probably for a good reason, because even when he teaches me a fun game or what I consider to be a fun game, I hate the learning process. I just hate being told how to do something. Just let me do it and I'll figure it out. I'm a hands-on learner. I don't do good with instruction. Just let me do. So here's counter sheet 2 front. That was a tangent there, and back. Then the last one, here's front with some US flags on it and back. So that was 1985 Under an Iron Sky by Thin Red Line Games. So it has NATO and Warsaw, the 2 sides. Don't ask him what that means or who specifically is on either of those. As I've said before, not a history buff, not a war buff. Don't know a lot of details about the stuff. I know what I need to know, and that's about it. My husband is the history, guru. He knows so much about it, and it's interesting to hear him talk about the stuff that he knows so much about because he's so passionate about it. And it makes me feel a little bit guilty, like I want to learn more about something that he's into, but I just don't have enough energy because, it just does not interest me. And while I appreciate the importance of it, and I think that it's so cool that these games exist and that so many of you like them and like watching Gimpy and watch me for whatever reason, that is the coolest thing in the world. I don't get it. So don't know that I'll ever get it. But this one looks pretty cool. This one looks right up. If you liked the last game we did, I don't even remember the name of it, but the last game we did was a pretty big game. He said this one is even bigger. So this is a very, very, very large game. There are lots of counters, lots of moving parts with this as far as player aids, and the rule book is pretty hefty. But if you are into games like that, you will love this game. It looks very, very nice. They made the box is incredible. All of the things inside the contents of this are very well made. You can just tell by feeling it. They're just very well made. And I think he interviewed this guy, or they had him on their show that they do, him and Mo, a week or so ago. And they really enjoyed chatting with him. I'm not sure who that was. I can't remember what his name was. Gimpy will put it in, I'm sure. But yes, he sent this to Gimpy, and so we just want to say thank you. And we just want to shout out Thin Red Line Games. This game's awesome. And if you guys enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. Check out my next one. I'm doing another one tomorrow night. I won't tell you the name of it. It'll be a surprise, but it's another one Gimpy's excited about. But if you want to know more about this game, about 1985 Under an Iron Sky, look for Gimpy's videos where he's going to be talking about it more. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. And if you have any games you want to see me guess, let us know. But we'll see you guys next time. All right? Bye. My shoes came off.